Are you just trying to live, laugh, or love? Or are you just trying to do all of the above? This is the podcast for you. If you're an aspiring comic, a headlining comic, a class clown, or just an average bro or doe looking for a good time, you, my friend, are in the right place. Welcome to the magical world of Just Trying to Podcast. Here we go. Welcome, triers, doers, and everything in betweeners. This is Just Trying to Podcast with your host, Mike Tony Heath. So excited to have a guest on the show today. Hailing from the great state of Louisiana. He's been doing comedy for a while. He has maybe delivered a package to your home sometime in your life or his own. You may have had your dog bite at his ankles. The very funny Collin Comeaux.
Hey, how's it going?
The crowd goes wild, dude. They're going wild. Welcome in.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Like the shirt, by the way. I wanted to wait to compliment you on your shirt until we got here. Breckenridge, that's back from your Colorado days?
Yeah, I actually just got this shirt like a couple months ago.
In Colorado?
Yeah, we were just killing time, and we were like, let's go to the brewery, Breckenridge Brewery, and my wife was like, that shirt would go well with your eyes.
It does.
And I was like, okay, let's do it. I guess I'll get $20. I'll buy it.
Yeah. Were you guys hitting the slopes in Breckenridge?
No, we were. I don't remember what we were doing that day. I think we were. It was during my wedding. And we were with I think we were just coming back from the wedding venue, which was up in Golden. And I think we were driving to Littleton, and we were like hungry, so we just decided to stop there.
So you guys got married in Colorado?
We did. Yeah.
What was like the venue?
It was like where or what? Like it was kind of.
Well, you said you got married in Golden, right?
Yeah, or near Golden.
Okay.
It's pretty much in Golden, but it's just like off that highway. Like it's called the Pines at Ganesh. That's the venue name, but has like an oversight of like the mountains and stuff.
Oh, that's what I was wondering if it had.
Yeah.
I didn't want to ask the question because like maybe it wasn't. You were hoping, so I didn't want to like ask it and be like, "Well, we wish we would have had mountains."
No, well, it was like it was kind of funny. I think like it was an affordable venue, and I assume it's because of like the highway, because it's like when you're out on the balcony, like you see the highway and then the mountains. So I think that's kind of why.
Could you hear some tuner cars going by?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
You guys are giving the vows.
Yeah,
you're a motorcycle just revving their engine.
Totally.
Good pictures, though, I bet.
Oh, totally. Yeah. We went to Red Rocks, too, for some of the pictures. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, it rained pretty bad, and apparently it's good luck if it, like, rains. I didn't know that, but everyone's like, oh, yeah, you guys, it was really, like, coming down, and and it was really interesting, and, yeah, everyone was like, oh, yeah, it's good luck. The photographers were like, this is great. It's great for pictures, and we were both like, oh, okay. Because, like, we're all in our...
Sure, you wouldn't think.
Yeah. Yeah, like the groom, like had a green tuxedo, and it was like...
What color green? Like that?
Like, yeah, kind of like this, actually. Yeah, it was like emerald, because our wedding colors were emerald green and gold. And but yeah, it was maybe a little lighter than this shade of this chair, but... Okay. Yeah, I went all out.
Turn this down just a skosh. Have you ever seen a show at Red Rocks?
Yeah, I've seen a few.
What was the best show you've seen? What a cool venue.
Yeah. Totally. It's really cool. We saw 21 Pilots a couple of times there.
Oh, fun.
And then we saw...
They're a fun show.
Yeah, it's just like, I didn't know, but it's just like two guys.
Yep.
And the lead singer was like climbing up the rocks.
He like always does
like no
some
problem.
Sort of climbing thing.
Yeah.
In the show. And he'll like pop up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like on like somewhere else.
Yeah. And it throws you off.
Yeah. That's what he did. He climbed up one side of like the rocks, and then they took the lights off of him, and then the lights came back on, and he was like up on the rocks on the other side. And I'm like, how the heck did he like?
Well, he's a magician.
Yeah.
He's a magician.
Did
you know that? Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it's kind of like, so he watched the film The Prestige. Have you seen the film Prestige?
Yeah, a long time ago.
So it's like that act, like that's what inspired that. And so he got real into magic.
What?
Yeah, so he kind of like, he's like a big magician. And well, I mean, that's what I think he is. Like, I think it's real. Like, I haven't talked to him about it, but like, I'm pretty sure like he's like a real magician. And so like, you think it's like a doppelganger, but I think he's actually transporting
that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how else he would do it, or unless he's got like a twin, like the movie, like that no one knows about.
Well, did he have like a mask on?
I don't
or
know.
was it like his face?
No. Yeah, he. I don't even think he was wearing a shirt. Like,
oh, so he was shirtless.
Yeah, and then he went on the other side and he was still wearing no shirt.
Magic.
Yeah, maybe he invented.
So if you like good music or magic, go see 21 Pilots.
I would say so. Yeah,
at Red Rocks
for sure,
dude. Speaking of magic, when was the last time you frolicked?
Oh, frolic like in a field or just in general?
In general, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe since I was a little kid.
So it's been a long time.
Yeah, a long
decades.
time. Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting back into frolicking.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw this person. I talked about it last week, and I like said I wanted to, and I have been getting back into it. Like this person was just frolicking across the crosswalk, just like 2 blocks up, next to the La Fitness up there.
Okay.
This woman, I think, and they were like frolicking across the crosswalk. They walked up to the crosswalk in a normal American walk, and then she frolicked the distance of the crosswalk and then resumed walking as an American.
What is the definition of like a good frolic?
I don't know. It's one of those things like it's like you know it when you see it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like hard to describe, but if you see it, you're like, that's frolicking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That would be something to see, some frolicking.
You don't see a lot of frolickers.
No, I don't. I don't. I mean, I see a lot of other things, but yeah, frolicking is not in the realm of things that I see like on a daily basis.
What do you feel like? So you've lived here in Seattle for a year and a half?
Seattle, well, the state of Washington, yes, but
okay.
Seattle, maybe like 4 or 5 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do you feel like you've seen the most of? Frolickers.
What have I seen the most of? In Capitol Hill, there's definitely a lot of yelling. And
a lot of yellers.
Lot of yellers. Yeah, there's a lot of yellers.
A lot of young yellers.
A lot of young yellers. Let me think. There's a lot of more people like hiding under blankets than you would think.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of people with no shirts on.
Big 21 Pilots fans out
here.
That's
yeah. It's a full circle.
A lot of 21 Pilots fans.
I need to ask him next time.
Yeah, like 21 Pilots, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, what's your favorite song, Goner or Trees?
The Judge.
Yeah. No, that's good, dude. I was talking about it last week, and I wanted to get into this because like I was talking about how you don't really see frolickers anymore.
Okay.
But you also don't really hear about bank robberies anymore.
That's very true.
Like, when was the last time you heard about a bank robbery?
Oh, man. Like a good one? Like, I don't even...
a real good one.
Yeah, like that made, like, national.
Or even just a low-key one, honestly. I'm cool with that.
Like a small bank robbery. Probably years, man. It's been, I would say, years.
Dude, so I was saying, like, I think it used to be, like, a big issue. Like, people would be, like, owing someone money, and then they'd be like, well, I can't pay you back. Like, my bank just got robbed.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that makes sense, because the paper dollar is kind of going away.
Yeah, like it's all Dogecoin now, or Bitcoins.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to the digital dollar, right? Like,
yeah.
You can't even... Like, can you imagine walking into somewhere with a bag of quarters and trying to pay? Like, doesn't that just sound like the worst thing?
Yeah, you sound like someone from Capitol Hill. Like, you know?
Yeah. So I was just thinking about that, and then a listener, Trevor Thorlickson, he shot me a DM, and he said, I was listening to the radio, which just paused the story right there. Like, Who's still listening to the radio? I
actually still listen to the radio.
Really?
I do, yeah. Well, one particular station, 107.7 The End. I mean, I mix it up and do the Spotify thing too, but I kind of like the radio. It's like you don't have to think about what to put on, you know?
Dude, you and Trevor, man, you guys, he said the radio is alive and well. And,
Yeah.
I never knew. But he was saying that on the radio he heard about this elderly, a 78-year-old woman who got arrested for robbing a bank.
78 years old?
70. She robbed a bank in Missouri.
What was her tactic?
Dude, I don't know. Okay, so her name is Bonnie Gooch.
Oh, okay. Bonnie Gooch,
Dude,
okay.
A real bank robber name, right?
That doesn't even sound like a real name.
Dude, Bonnie Gooch comes from a family of bank robbers. They've been getting the gooch since long ago, dude. So here's the news. I'm reading this from KMBC News, which is like a Kansas City news station. So this happened in Pleasant Hill, Missouri.
Okay.
So Gooch was actually previously convicted of robbing a bank in 1977. And then in 2020, she robbed a bank in Lee Summit, Missouri when she was 75, and third time's a charm. So she robbed a bank again. So this is her third time robbing a bank.
Okay. So she likes it.
Yeah. But actually she may have robbed, we know of at least 3.
Okay. So
she comes from the Gooch family.
Yeah.
So she might have robbed more.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
but I want to let me just show you this picture of her mugshot.
Oh wow. Yeah, you know what's funny is her name fits like the way she looks.
Dude, when you see her, you're like, "Oh, that's Bonnie Gooch."
Yeah, that's her.
Man, so people, well, at least Bonnie is out here still robbing banks.
Yeah, she's hustling.
I don't know if she's frolicking, but she's robbing.
Yeah. I don't. She doesn't seem like a frolicker just from the picture you showed.
Yeah, she maybe back in the day.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to let people know that beware, especially if you know a Gooch, they are coming for your bank.
Don't
trust a Gooch.
Yeah, don't trust a Gooch. Yeah,
that's the message we have today. Is
especially Bonnie Gooch.
Yeah, that's like the title of this episode. Don't trust the Gooch.
That's wild, man. That's wild.
But I met you. I'm trying to think how long we met. Like 2 or 3 months ago at Club Comedy at an open mic.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
And you live pretty close to there. We won't give your address, but
yeah, cool.
You've been going there a lot, and you've been hitting the mics.
Yeah. I'm usually there the Tuesdays and Wednesdays. The Chuckle Bucket's kind of like my main thing where I get like stage time. But yeah, that's usually like where I'm at when I try to do stand up.
And you, when was the first time you did stand up comedy?
Ever? It was at a high school talent show.
Okay.
I was probably like 17 or something like that.
Sure.
And it was horrible. It was so bad.
Like, are you saying that like now looking back on it, or did you feel like it went horribly then?
I both. I feel like for a high school like stand up, it like I was the only one that did comedy. Like everyone else was like singing and stuff, so I already felt like a little out of place because like they had like the backstage area and everyone had like their guitars and like. They were like, what do you like? Everyone just assumed I was gonna like sing or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, I'm gonna tell like jokes. And they were like, oh, okay, that's cool. And I was like, yeah. And but it was, it's high school, so you obviously have to be like super filtered in what you're talking about.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And yeah,
this was in Louisiana.
This was in Louisiana. Yeah, probably
Louisiana.
Yeah, good old Louisiana. Yeah, man, it just like it was interesting. And then the first time I ever did stand up like at a real comedy club, it was in Sacramento, and I got heckled my very first time. And
what'd they say?
Do you? It's pretty explicit. Do you want me to just tell you?
Yeah, try to do it in the most PG version of it.
Okay. I guess I was holding the microphone like a certain way. Like where my fingers were like on top of the the microphone.
What a weird way to hold the microphone.
Yeah, it's fine. I think I was just nervous, not paying attention to like what I was doing.
You weren't even thinking about how you were holding it.
Totally. And yeah, and the funny thing is, I was the last person of the night, and it was a big like open mic, and I was like, everyone was gone at that point.
What was do you remember the name of the club in Sac Town?
I think it was called like Sacramento Comedy Spot or something like that. I think it's one of the only comedy clubs in Sacramento.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, it's pretty cool, and they only do like they're mostly improv. But I do remember, like, I think it was like Tuesday nights. I don't know if they still do it or not, but they would have open mic for stand-ups. And I was mostly doing improv, but I was like, oh, let me give like stand-up a try and switch it up. And I don't really know how to make it PG. It was very blunt, but I guess the way I had my fingers on the microphone, he basically implied that I was, playing with a certain body part.
Yeah.
And I was like, it kind of took me off guard because I wasn't expecting to get heckled on my first try, and I was kind of bombing already. And I was just like, no, it was like, yeah,
that was your comeback.
Yeah, no. I was like, it's really nice that you think that's like what I've been doing, but it was. And then I kind of like I lost my whole train of thought, and then it was just like snowballing downhill the rest of the time. And then I think by the time I finished my set, I was kind of like, I gotta get a good look at this guy, and he was gone. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah, he was totally gone.
Dude, sheesh, he's one of those guys that just pop into heckle and get
out
of there.
That's what it kind of seemed like. I was like, oh man.
No, did they light the beam afterwards for you? Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay, so for the Sacramento Kings, I think it's actually a newer thing, but like whenever they would win, they would shoot this beam into the sky. The Sacramento King basketball team, after a dub, they would light this purple beam into the sky. They'd be like, light the beam.
Okay.
So
I would say no. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just think it's funny because I went through with my buddy. We went backpacking in Yosemite.
Okay.
And then we stopped in Sacramento for like dinner on the way back home.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And we would just walk down the street and yell, light the beam!
Yeah,
and then some people would be like, light it up!
Yeah, and then other people were like, what are these guys talking about?
Yeah, like people in there didn't even know what it was about. So
yeah.
Anytime I hear Sacramento, I just yell out, light the beam!
Gotcha.
It's just like a theme now, of my life that I'm trying to live.
But beam.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what year was that in Sacramento?
That was a while ago. It was in like 2014. Yeah.
And then you kind of like did it off and on since then?
No, that was like the last time I had done stand-up since I moved here, because I was like, I don't think I like stand-up after that whole incident. And,
sure, yeah.
And then, so I kind of did improv here and there, and I just never was good at that either. And then I was like, maybe comedy's not for me. And then it just never, the drive to do it never really like went away. So I was like, maybe I'll try it again. And
what like made you want to try it again? Was there an activating event, or was it just like this idea just gnawing at you, or what?
Yeah, well, I had a lot of like really bad jobs where I was just like, don't like this, don't like that, don't like this, don't like that, not good at this, not good at that. And not that I'm good at comedy per se, but like I'm like, okay, well, at least I can have fun being terrible on stage,
sure, yeah,
or like making the best out of it. But I think like where it clicked again was I used to work at a clinic, and I used to be like a histotech and kind of a medical assistant, and I hated working in the medical field. I hated it. I thought maybe that's something I might want to do, and after like day 2, I was like, oh man, this sucks. And I was like, I had to, like, part of the things I had to do was like draw people's blood, and I was like terrible at it, and I was just constantly like poking people and missing their veins, and people were getting mad at me, and I was like, maybe I'll go back to comedy. I was like, anything's got to be like better than this. And some people really like drawing blood, but it's not something I liked doing.
You don't got any vamp tendencies?
No. But it was kind of nice though when someone was like a jerk to you, like right up front. They're like, I'll give you like one shot and one shot only to get my vein. I'm like, okay, and I'll just like miss on purpose, like.
Oh, dude! And then they'd be like, actually, stick me again.
Yeah. Well, either way, it's like you have to get the blood, and then like there were people that were actually worse than me, believe it or not, and I was like, yeah, I can go get like so and so, and then like they would know that person from the previous time they came in. They're like, no, try it again.
Yeah. Was that the worst job you've ever had?
No, actually, the worst job I've ever had was delivering in the mountains of Colorado.
Oh, really?
For sure.
In, like northern Colorado, southern Colorado?
It was in Conifer. I think I'm not really sure like where exactly on the map that is, but it's
You were there.
yeah, I drove there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like kind of like I'm trying to think. It was like maybe 30 to 40 minutes away from like Inglewood, which is where like our station is.
Okay.
Or was. But yeah, that job was horrible too, man. Is if you're like an adrenaline junkie, I'd recommend it.
Are you?
No, not at all.
So it's not the job for you.
No. Yeah. Yeah, well like yeah, they don't like take proper like well, it's like contractors. And then like FedEx hires these contractors. And so I don't know like I'm not going to like put their name out or anything, but like certain contractors I would assume are better at taking. But I've heard from other drivers that work for other contractors that it's just all around, like it's just widely known that like people don't like take care of the trucks.
Yeah.
And so and you have to like follow these guidelines where you like get into work and you check the tire pressure and all that kind of stuff, but they don't really like do anything about it. And so it's just kind of like you kind of take what you get, and you never know like when I worked there, they were always like rotating me around, so I always had a different truck every day, and it was just like bad. Each truck was like messed up in its own way, and I was like, if you just put us in the same truck, at least I know what to expect, what's wrong with it, So like some days you have a truck with no brakes, some days you have a truck with like diesel leak, and then sometimes the steering wheel is like really loose. You just never know what you're gonna get, but something is always broken with a truck. There's never like just a truck that's in good condition.
Yeah. There wasn't like everyone was like hoping they'd show up like, I got truck 17.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh no, he got 17.
I think and that's the thing. I think if there is a good one, whoever probably drives it like probably tells everyone it's terrible, so like no one will want it, like
But they know 17 is the way to go.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, a lot of dangerous situations.
Did you ever like have any like wildlife encounters? Like you ever run into like a bear out there or something?
Not a bear, but I ran into, let's see, like wild turkeys were a big one. They're pretty mean too, and like they'll chase you.
Oh, gobble they will for sure. They're trying to gobble you up,
dude. They're mean, man. Like super mean. Like meaner than you'd think. Like, and that's the thing. I don't even like mess with. Like, I wouldn't even like mess with them. I just like let them.
Dude, turkeys be out there looking for a fight. Like they're just prowling the land looking for a human to pick on.
They're mean, dude. Like like I'd be walking with a package because you have to walk uphill a lot because like that's another thing. You wouldn't know to drive uphill or not because you're like, I don't know what's waiting for me up there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to turn around because sometimes you drive to the top and then there's no turnaround. So you're like, okay, I guess I got to reverse all the way down here. But it's like dangerous because it's like a spaghetti kind of like zigzag situation.
Yeah,
so I was like, half the time I was like, I guess I'll just walk it. And then you'd see these turkeys just like kind of doing their thing, but they kind of start following you. And I was like, I even made a joke about like that in stand up where like they kind of just like will follow you, and then if you get too close, they're like in attack mode. Like they'll like they go after you, man. Like and I was like, I've guaranteed like out of like what like the set I did, I was like guaranteed out of like anyone in this room, I've been chased probably by more turkeys than anyone here. Like no doubt about it.
Yeah. You ever had like any like feral hogs?
Feral hogs. No, I don't know if I've ever seen any hogs up there. Let's see. There was turkeys. A lot of people's pet dogs. It's not really wildlife, but I've been chased by dogs. That's a cliche that actually happens.
For sure. I mean, I have some childhood trauma from being chased by a dog.
Yeah, they're mean, dude.
Oh yeah.
But don't worry. He doesn't bite. That's what they all say.
Yeah, he doesn't bite. Yeah, don't worry, he doesn't bite.
Yeah.
Feels like he's gonna bite.
It seems like it. Yeah, it seems like he might want to bite me.
Yeah,
and there was we'd see every now and then I'd see like vultures doing their thing and then
circling.
Looking
for a carcass.
Yeah, seriously. Like I was always wondering, like sometimes I'd see them circling kind of further away, and I'm like, I wonder if I look down there if I'll see like UPS and FedEx trucks with like skeletons in them.
Oh yeah,
like just like a desert, like like this is Dead Man's like hill or whatever.
Did you ever have like a standoff with like any like animals like wouldn't get out of the road? Like a moose is just in the road.
I did see there was like a what was it? I think it was like it was a bird. It may have been a turkey or something. I don't know. There was like a bird that just was like chilling, and it just like wouldn't move, and it honked, and I was like, I don't want to like get out because it's gonna chase me, or I feel like it's gonna chase me. And but yeah, eventually it just kind of moved. But I never had like a cow or anything like that. Just kind of like chilling and just like something that was big enough I could like not be able to move it.
Yeah. Did you ever see that video? Because this is what made me think about it. There was this video of like this wolf walking across a road in like a snowy night in Yellowstone, and it's like this massive wolf. You ever seen that video?
No, I haven't.
I don't know how I'm gonna find it, but I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay.
And dude, actually, let me see if I can look it up real quick, because this is what I picture like you would have woof. Also, did you grow up pronouncing it woof or wolf?
Wolf. Yeah. Did you say wolf?
Dude, I grew up calling it woof.
Really?
And no one corrected me on woof until college. And they said, "What'd you say?" And I said, "Wolf." Like it looks like a wolf to me. Like, do you mean wolf? I was like, "Yeah, wolf." And like I don't like we just never.
Is that like a Missouri thing?
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of wondering. But like you being from Louisiana, I wondered if like, I just wondered if maybe you had
like an accent.
Yeah, like if it was like an accent thing.
No, we had other words. Like a lot of people, how like when you say I'm going to like chuck the ball, like throw, like chuck the ball. Yeah, like he chucked it or whatever, or I think that's what you say. A lot of people in Louisiana say chunk.
Oh, he chunked it.
Yeah, he chunked it. Like, isn't that kind of weird? And for the longest time, I said that. Like, oh man, like when there's a game on, I'm like, oh, he really like chunked that ball. And finally, someone was like what? And you mean like chuck? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, did you like? Are you saying chunk like chocolate, like a chocolate chunk cookie or something? Yeah. And I was like, no, I didn't say that, because then I was really embarrassed about it.
So do you still say chunk, or
no,
have you converted?
No, I converted. I converted a lot of things. Like I used to say y'all a lot, and I don't know. I moved to California for a little bit, and everyone was like, why do you say that? And I was like, well, because I'm from Louisiana. And eventually I just got tired of explaining it, so I just...
Is there any other like chunk phrases? Like I've never heard of the chunk it.
Yeah, chunk
it. That's a whole new phrase to me. I'm stealing
that's
it.
Funny. Yeah, chunk it, like that's the thing. It's kind of more casual. Like you'll hear it in a lot of, if the word comes up in a convo, you'll like notice it for sure. That's the only one at the top of my head.
That'd be like a good like rap song, or like just some
chunk it,
even like a hip hop song. Yeah. Like, oh, he went and chunked it. Oh, you gonna chunk it?
Chunk it.
Chunk it, yeah.
Chunk it, baby.
Chunk it real nice.
Chunk it. Yeah, chunk it. Never thought of it like that.
It was always like positive too, right? Like it's like chunk is always positive, or does it have a negative connotation as well?
I think it's mostly I think a lot of people think that's like what it is. So I don't like, you don't get corrected in Louisiana.
Well, just like chunk sounds negative. Like if you
chunk, yeah.
Like I can't even think of a definition for the word chunk, to be honest with you, except like a chocolate chunk, like a brick of something.
Like a chunk of cake maybe, but that you may as well just say slice of cake.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But like chunk sound, like if you just anything besides like the measurement, it just sounds negative. Like,
yeah, totally. Yeah, it doesn't sound great. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Well, here's a chunk of a wolf walking across this road. So here's the video.
Oh, this is the video you were talking about?
Yeah, can you see that?
Yeah. Ooh, that thing's big. Dude, that might be a werewolf.
Dude, that is terrifying, am I right?
Dude,
Can you imagine being out in Colorado and this is just in front of your truck? Like you had a late night delivery and this guy's just staring you down?
No.
You've never seen this video before?
No, man.
That's terrifying, am I right?
I would not like that.
Okay, what's your move? You're in the car right here. Are you just like staying? Are you honking to tell it go away, or like what's the play here?
I think I would probably stay in the truck for sure.
Dude, I'm getting out. I'm getting a snowball and I'm trying to chunk him.
You're trying to chunk it?
Dude, I'm trying to chunk this wolf.
Make him mad.
No, dude. That's crazy. I've watched that video so much and I like play it through in my head of like, what would I do? And I've really thought a lot about this. I'm not even joking. Like I've thought like, would I like, because you almost like, I don't know. You kind of like, we can do things with video. So part of me is like, is this a real video?
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, it looks so clean. Like it does not look any level of CGI.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and you could picture like there's wolves in Yellowstone. So you're like, this could happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but I just try to think like, because I went on this Yellowstone trip with a friend and we drove around like this. We asked like the park rangers, like, hey, like where's it most likely for us to see a wolf? And like they wouldn't tell us. So we asked like people and they said, we asked like a local guy who was working at this gas station. He's like, oh, go to this valley and like that's like your best chance. Like go at like dusk.
So you're seeking out.
We drove around Yellowstone for hours looking for a pack of wolves.
That's crazy.
So then I was just thinking like if that was us and like we were like going back to the campsite late at night and then like this guy pops up over the road, like what do we do?
Yeah,
you know, like do we try to get like a picture, like a selfie, or are we just terrified, like locked in? Because like depending on what kind of car you're in, you might be wondering, can he get me?
Yeah.
Like
I think the car has a heavy factor. Yeah.
Like if you're in like a little Kia Forte,
like a motorcycle,
if you're in a motorcycle, you're done. Dude.
Yeah, totally.
You just gotta outrun them.
A motorcycle, I would just turn around for sure.
Oh yeah, you're out of there.
Yeah, I don't really drive a motorcycle though.
I think you actually probably want to stay. You want to stay facing them, and you're revving the engine up.
Okay,
you're trying to scare them
away. With loud noises.
Like, go on now, little puppy.
Get out of now. Get. Yeah.
Dude, did you ever? Anybody ever say that to you growing up?
Yeah.
That feels like one of the most like Southern sayings. Like,
go on, get. Yeah.
Like, can you imagine someone from Washington getting on their front lawn saying that?
Yeah. You know what that reminds me of is like any dog movie from like the 90s where, you know, like they have to get rid of their dog or something. The kid's like, go on, get. Like, that's what that makes me think of.
It's just some little kid like crying. Go on now, I can't live.
Like Air Bud or something. Go on, get. Don't want you anymore.
And then the rest of the movies then coming back together.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful stories.
Yeah. Totally.
Dude, so you've been coming out to transition. You've been coming out to Oddly Funny open mic.
Yeah.
It's been going for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're signed up for two more weeks. Who knows what will happen after that?
Okay.
What has been your biggest takeaway? So the format is, for people who don't know, the format is just like the show Kill Tony or Kind Taylor. That's like a local show that's happened. But basically, like, there's like host and there's a comedian does a set, and then the host kind of give feedback and whatnot. So that's kind of the format. What's been your biggest takeaway from that experience?
I personally like the feedback because I feel like a lot of open mics don't really do that. So it's kind of nice, you know, like if you're bombing, because I try to remember to record myself like when I do like actual open mics, so I can go back and listen to myself, but like I don't remember every time. And so then it's like the times I do forget, I'm like, oh, I don't even know how I sounded or like how I came across. But it's cool like getting that feedback if I like forget to record, and I've forgot to record every single time I've done Oddly Funny.
Nice.
But no, it's cool, like, you know, like you guys telling me to like work on my pacing with the joke, like pausing, you know, and it's like good because I felt like I had my personal best open mic the Tuesday after that, because I was like, oh, I got to remember to like do these pauses because I'm still pretty new at it, at doing stand-up. And so it's like there's like certain things you got to remember when you're on stage, like how you're presenting yourself and like what like telling the story the way you want to tell it. And I think the feedback is what like keeps me coming back.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to get a little promo for the open mic, get some faces in the room. 7 p.m. on Sundays.
Yeah. Go. You guys should go.
Yeah, you can come watch or perform.
Yeah.
Did you go up anywhere last night?
No. I ended up taking a nap and slept a lot longer than I wanted to.
But isn't that just kind of nice sometimes?
Yeah.
Dude, whenever you're like not really planning on it and then you get that nap and you wake up and you're like, I feel amazing, dude.
Well, it's my wife. She was like, I'm gonna take a nap, and I was like, okay, I'll like, you know, get some stuff done around the house. And then she looked so peaceful. I was like, maybe I'll just like sit down.
Yeah, let me get a hit of that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
You can't keep all that for yourself. I want a hit of that nap, dude. Come on.
Yeah, and then the next thing I know, it's like 7 p.m. I'm like, oh great, and I was like, I missed the open mic. But
happens, dude. But you're gonna try to go up tonight at Chuckle Bucket?
Yeah. Chuckle Bucket. I'll definitely be there,
dude. Okay. I love that that show. That's fun. So Chuckle Bucket is like It's like a curated show. People have varying levels of time. You know, more seasoned comics, they'll get like 10 to 15 minutes even.
Right, yeah.
And newer comics get like 3, right?
Yeah.
So you're probably repping out 3 sets, right?
They
or 3-minute sets.
Yeah, mostly 3. Last week I got 5 though.
Dude, come on now.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Were you ready? When you got the chance?
Yeah, I was like 2 extra minutes. Like, what am I like? I gotta bring out the big guns here. And no, it was cool. And then I went back and looked on the list, and she had scratched out and put it back to 3, which was kind of funny. So it was 3, and then she bumped it up to. I'm sorry, it was 3, then 5, and I was like, okay. And then I guess because like people like kind of leave and come back, and so I think she's constantly like adjusting the times.
Wait, so did you not do 5 then?
No, yeah, I did 3.
Oh.
Like, yeah.
That's such a
I know.
bummer.
I was like, I don't know if I should go back. I was
You're
like,
I wish I wouldn't even have looked.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. She made an announcement basically like, hey,
okay.
yeah, she was like, come back and check the list. She'll like tell you if they like adjust the times. So, but usually I lose track of time anyway, and because I get wrapped up in my stories, and then
So do you have like a timer on stage? Can you look at it, or are you just going off the light?
I usually go off the light, but I feel like sometimes they forget to do the light.
Sure.
I don't know.
Anywhere you go.
Yeah, that's what I was about
Like,
to
it
say.
happens, yeah.
And then like
somebody comes up to the host, asks them a question, and the host is doing something. It just happens. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing I've been trying to work on is like my timing, because usually I'll like kind of do a joke and like set it for 3 minutes. I'm like, okay, like I'll time myself telling the joke at home. And then I'm like, okay, like I think if I can just tell this one long joke story, like by the time I'm done, it should be the light. And then sometimes like they'll flash the light and then they'll turn it off. But sometimes I'll miss the first flash. And so when they turn it on the second time, it's basically like get off. But I'm thinking like, oh, they're telling me to wrap it up.
Sure.
And, yeah. You don't want the music though, the wrap up music.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, it hasn't happened to me, but I hope it never does, because I've seen it happen to one person and it was like hard to watch.
Well, it feels like you kind of feel bad for them, but also it's like we got to get you off. Like you're not seeing the light. Like it just got to happen.
Well, I feel like you have to have a sense of like how long you've been up there too.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Because like my 3 minutes, it's like for me that goes by fast, and usually
so quick.
Yeah, when I finish my set, I'm like, okay, I think there's no light, but I feel like I should be getting off about now.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll even ask, I'm like, well, like, how am I doing on time? And they're like, you're negative. Like one of the comedians that was hosting one night, he was like, you're negative 30 seconds. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's it then.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Let me get off here so fast.
Yeah.
Invite me back. Yeah. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Dude. Okay, so you've lived quite a few places. You lived in Colorado, Louisiana, California,
Yep.
now Seattle.
Yep.
Anywhere else you've lived?
No, just those 4 states I think are primarily where I've lived.
Okay, so you've experienced a lot of the country.
Yeah.
I'm from the Midwest, the great state of Missouri, and which like is like we're lower Midwest, so we have Midwest culture, but we got like a Southern flair, you know.
Okay.
But Louisiana, like it's
just
Southern.
Southern.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
just
as Southern as it
You're
gets.
rocking the
Yeah.
Saints hat.
Yeah.
Right there, dude.
Yeah, big Saints fan.
Yeah. What's the phrase y'all say?
Who dat?
Who dat?
Yeah.
I love that. That's
Yeah,
so good, dude.
Yeah.
Who dat?
Who dat?
I wish the Chiefs had something like that.
Well, don't they have the?
Yeah, we're just culture appropriating.
Yeah.
Do the tomahawk chop.
Yeah, that's
dude.
what it is. Yeah.
Dude, you know what's crazy is like I grew up, and this is maybe just like the shift in American culture, but like that was just so normal.
Yeah.
And like now I watch it, and like I honestly don't know how I feel about it. Like it feels like I don't know. Like it is like it's such a like an offensive thing to so many people.
Sure.
But if you go to Arrowhead Stadium, dude, everyone's doing the tomahawk
Yeah, well,
chop.
you see it on TV too.
Dude,
Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But like growing up, like there was just no sense of that being a weird thing to do.
Sure.
Until I went to college, honestly. So like until I'm 18-year-old, that's like the most normal thing to do. And then I learned about microaggressions in college, and I'm like, oh wow, like the tomahawk chalk is like pretty like on the edge. Like I don't know if we should be doing this.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll ever stop. It's just like kind of like I heard there's a petition. I read recently there's a petition for people to bring the Redskins name back.
Oh, really?
Like I guess a lot of people want it back. Like they hate the Commanders. I don't know what it's up to, but I don't know how I feel about it, honestly. Like, well, for one, they're not really my team, but
sure, yeah.
But it's like
I was a
Yeah.
fan of the Washington football team. I liked that
A
name.
lot of people like that one. One of
Yeah.
my old coworkers, I actually just texted him, and I was like, "Oh, did you read about this petition?" And he was like, "Honestly, I want to go back to just Washington football team." And it was just like the most plain Jane.
I just liked it.
Yeah,
Kind of felt a little bit like soccer.
Yeah.
Like soccer just has like the name of the city and like the club or whatever. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, I was curious. So like you kind of had like that Southern influence. And now you're living in like the vastly different
Totally
end
different.
of the cultural spectrum living
Yeah.
here in Seattle. Like,
Yeah.
what's been like some big differences? Now you've lived places in between, so you
Yeah.
didn't go from like Louisiana to
To
Seattle.
here. Yeah. I've had kind of like a grace period of kind of like Seattle's way different from Colorado, and I lived in Colorado for 7 years, but they're kind of more like similar, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
But like in Louisiana, I feel like there's just less rules, if that makes any sense. Like I don't know.
Bunch of rebels down
Yeah,
there.
for instance, I have a story if you want to hear it.
I'd love to, yeah.
So a buddy of mine, we went to New Orleans in February, and I had a Mardi Gras ball I got invited to from my aunt, and so we were.
What is that?
It's just like it's basically like a big ball where people showcase like their. This was my first one, so I'm not really quite sure what even happened, but it's basically an excuse to drink, which is what like a lot of things people do in Louisiana is like
Bourbon Street.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just basically like a dance for adults.
Okay.
And they just
Where
wear
like,
these.
you wear masks?
The one I went to, like they had masks there, but like what's funny is I actually put one on, like where no one knew who I was, and I got on stage. And I just started like dancing and like because I was like, I wonder what would happen if I just like.
Are you a good dancer?
No, not at
Oh,
all. Yeah, it was really funny. My cousin, we were all like drinking, and she's like, "I dare you to put this mask on and like go up on stage," because they were doing like some limbo thing, and it was really boring. She's like, "I dare you to put that mask on and like go do the limbo."
Yeah.
And then I got up. As soon as I got up there, I had like a big mink like jacket on over my tuxedo with this like crazy like Mardi Gras mask, and they got off immediately as soon as I got on. Like just like they were like, "Oh, we don't mess with this guy," and it was like I didn't really know what to do because like I was like the only one up there, so I just kind of started dancing, and and then the song, and I couldn't really see what was going on either. That was like another issue, because of the mask, like eye holes were very tiny.
Oh yeah,
so I was
sure.
just kind of like, I don't know what's happening. I'm just gonna dance, but got to do the dare, man.
You had to do the dare.
But to go back to the other story about there not being any rules, we went to New Orleans, and my buddy, my wife forgot her ID when we flew, so we couldn't fly, so we missed our flight basically.
Oh.
So and we had planned it to where me and my buddy would meet up in New Orleans with her. Me and my wife and my buddy would all meet up and in New Orleans, but our flight we missed our flight because she forgot her ID, and so he got to New Orleans early. Like 8 hours before us, and so we were like, he's like, I don't want to walk around Bourbon with like my suitcase and like all my stuff.
Sure, yeah.
And so we were kind of like Googling like lockers and stuff like that, and we found a locker. I was like, oh here, dude. Like I sent him a message. I was like, here, you can put your bag like at this place. And it was like earlier on in the day, and he was like, okay. And so he texted me, and he's like, dude, this is a candy shop. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, it's a candy shop. Like, I don't know if I should leave my bag here. It's like a candy shop. And I was like, nah, dude, it says it's like a locker store or like a storage place,
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm telling you, it's a candy shop. And I was like, well, maybe just go in and ask, and maybe they might know. And he's like, I'll keep you updated, I was like, I want to know about this candy shop situation. Like, what's going on with your bag, and And so he texts me. He's like, I got it taken care of. We're good. And I was like, so like what happened? I was like, did they take your bag? And he was like, yeah, it's a candy shop, but it also is a luggage storage facility. And the name of it was he read the reviews, and he was like, the owner is like a sweetheart. And he was like, was a little like, one of the reviews said something about was like a little sketched out, like leaving my bag here, but they have a clipboard, so it's official, And
Dude, that's official in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Oh, he got a clipboard.
Yeah.
He doing good. Yeah.
That's kind of how it rolls in Louisiana. Just that kind of thing. It's just like, oh yeah, he's got a clipboard. It's all right, And then it was funny. We went back to pick up his bag the next day. He's like, I really hope like they still have it, and like. because he was like, they could easily like erase my name or
Yeah.
or pull out a different
Clipboard.
clipboard.
We talking about clipboard.
Yeah,
Here's
yeah.
my clipboard right here.
There's no
I see your name
clipboard.
anywhere.
Yeah, and we met the owner, and he ended up being a sweetheart, like just like the thing said. And he gave us free candy, and he was like, "Yeah, here's your bag," and everything was in the bag. And yeah, it could have went really sour really fast, that situation. But that's just kind of like what Louisiana is in a nutshell. Just I feel like people just kind of make these rules up as
There's
they
like
go.
a level of trust.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
do you feel that like coming to the city, like there is like people just trust people less? Do you trust people less?
I most certainly do. Yeah.
Like, I feel like we just trusted everyone, which is maybe naive.
Yeah.
But I feel like I feel jaded now living here. Like I feel like I can't trust. Like I feel like everyone's got like a mixed motive.
Yeah, well, it's hard because you don't know. Like just walking around the city, you don't know what's going on or what people are thinking or gonna do. And I've never lived in an urban environment until I moved to Seattle, so it's like way different from living in like kind of like a nowhere town in Louisiana.
Dude, I feel like growing up, I would just like leave my stuff places and I'd just go somewhere and I'm like, I'm gonna come back and it's gonna be here.
Yeah,
like
or
I would
leave
like
the door
leave.
unlocked.
I'd like leave my door unlocked, leave my laptop out somewhere. I'm gonna go do something. I'll come back to it, which is probably not smart. I know.
Yeah,
But I would never like think, oh, someone's gonna steal it. Like I just felt so naive and so like trusting of the world.
Yeah, well, I think that's what smaller towns do to you. I definitely had that same sense of like security, like growing up in like smaller towns. Like, oh, no one will take this, and I'd leave my car unlocked all the time. But yeah, so more urban cities, just I don't know. It'll change you.
Now that candy shop, I'm kind of curious. Was it like specialty candy, or was it like just like Snicker bars?
No, yeah, it was specialty candies. He did like he would make his own candy. Shout out to Mr. Apple if anyone is
the candy man, Mr.
Yeah,
Apple.
Yeah, I don't know if he goes by Mr. Apple or if that's just the name of his.
That's the name of the store.
That's the name of the store
in New Orleans,
Yeah,
Louisiana.
in
If
New
you need a
Orleans.
place to store your bag in New Orleans,
Mr. Apple's where you need to be.
go to Mr. Apple
Yeah.
and grab yourself a little candy apple or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, he does caramel apples, a mixed variety of caramel apples.
Caramel?
Caramel. Are you caramel?
I'm caramel, dude. I grew up on the caramel grind.
Okay, yeah, I'm a caramel guy. Yeah, they do that, and then they do pralines, and then just like taffy, and like they just do their own candy.
What's a praline?
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like I should know. I think it's a Louisiana thing, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate from a lot of people from Louisiana not knowing. But but like my buddy, I've had them before, but like I'm at that point in my life where I'm too scared to like ask someone, like.
Oh, you've gone too far.
Yeah, like,
sure.
Yeah, but
like, what is the Constitution? Like,
yeah,
you can't ask that when you're this old.
Yeah,
buddy.
totally.
Like, you're gonna have
Yeah.
to Google that yourself. Dude.
Yeah. I need to look into it, but it was good. He gave us some free pralines, and it was funny because if my buddy listens to this, he's gonna be like, "You didn't know what a praline was?"
Yeah.
They're
Now,
good though.
I feel like shrimp broils.
Crawfish boils.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are big. Yeah.
So, like, do you have one of those? Sorry, I said shrimp. I meant crawfish.
Yeah.
I called them crawdaddies growing up.
Okay. Yeah.
But I know same thing.
Yeah.
So, like, would you have one of those like massive buckets?
I never like hosted one, but I had been, I've been to some. But yeah, they do like the buckets, and they pour the live crawfish in there, and they just cook them. And I like crawfish, but like a crawfish boil, like you're eating. It's pretty raw. Like you're sucking the meat out of like the claws and the tails and stuff. And I don't know, man. Some people really get into it, like the yellow stuff, and like suck all the juices and stuff.
Yeah.
It always kind of grossed me out.
It ain't for you.
Yeah.
What's like the food from home that you miss? Like that's like not here in Seattle.
Oh, gumbo for sure.
Gumbo. There ain't no good gumbo places here.
Not really. No.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't really gone out of my way to try gumbo here, but I remember like when I lived in Colorado, we went to a Louisiana place because I was getting a little homesick, and they were like best gumbo in Colorado, and it wasn't even gumbo. It had like carrots in it and like just stuff that should never go in a gumbo, and I was like, this isn't gumbo.
This ain't no,
This is like a
this ain't no
stew.
gumbo,
Like,
dude.
yeah.
You don't even know.
Yeah.
Dude, that's how I feel about Nashville style hot chicken. Have you ever had that?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like in Nashville.
No, not in Nashville.
Okay, so where have you had it at?
I've had it here, and I've had it in Colorado, just like that Nashville style, like chicken sandwich.
Dude, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first time I had Nashville style hot chicken was in Nashville.
Okay.
So like I've experienced what it is in its essence, like what it should be. And then there's a few places in Missouri that like had authentic Nashville style hot chicken.
Okay.
And then I moved to Washington, and now it's become like, I think even KFC has it.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I'm not from Nashville, so I can't I'm not like saying that this is my
speaking on behalf.
It's not like my culture or whatever.
Yeah.
But I've experienced it like in the true authentic.
Okay.
In all of these places, like, dude, it's not Nashville style hot chicken.
Interesting.
It's not.
Okay.
Like there are a few places that it's like authentic, got the same like spice taste, and it's like really hot. But I'll go to this place and they'll be marketing and be like, yes, dude, I want one of these so bad, and I'll eat it. And I was like, this is like a little bit spicier version of like a Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Okay. Yeah. That's
like,
the big.
It's like nowhere near, but it's like a spicy sandwich, so they'll just like throw that name on there.
Yeah.
Like it's like the fake gumbo, dude. I
think,
ain't about it.
I love spicy stuff, man. And I've noticed people can't handle spice if in certain states,
Especially the whites.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it, dude. Like I like to have my mouth on fire.
Dude, for sure. That's like the true Nashville hot chicken is like you are sweaty and suffering. That's how you know you're like doing it right.
Right, yeah.
You got a little bit of heartburn. The first time I had heartburn was eating Nashville style hot chicken. I said, "What is this?" Like, buddy, that's heartburn. And I was like,
okay, give it to me.
Give it to me. I want some more, dude.
I want it. Yeah.
Hook me
you
up.
would love Tony Sacheries. It's like a seasoning, real big, and I like Tabasco.
Oh, I know Tony's.
Oh,
yeah.
you know Tony's?
Yeah,
okay.
I mess with that.
I feel like I have to explain that to everybody.
I lived with a couple that I lived with a couple for a little bit, like before I got married, when I was kind of in between housing, and the wife was from Louisiana.
Okay.
So like she would make us
keep it in the cabinet.
Yeah. Yep. So we always had the Tonys in the cabinet. I throw it on like eggs or anything, dude.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's like everything and anything. And my wife hates when I cook because I always put Tonys on everything, and she can't. She's got a dainty little mouth, like she can't handle the spice.
And this is a good time for this week's sponsor, Tony.
Tony Sacheries.
Thank you, Tony Sacheries. Bring some spice to your life. Now back to the show. We are not sponsored by Tony's.
No, totally not.
Not yet.
Maybe
Not
they'll
yet.
Listen.
Hey, my name's Tony. Like they should
dude.
sponsor my podcast. I'm trying to get on. I'm gonna send them an email.
You should, man.
Dude, my 22 subscribers on Spotify, dude.
Tony and Tony. My name's Tony, and I like Tonys.
Yes, dude. That I would. I'd do some push-ups for that. Dude, anything else that's like maybe surprised you, like the difference between Louisiana and Seattle?
The speed of like how people move and talk. Everything moves a lot slower in Louisiana, and it's funny because the first time I like took my wife down there, she was like, "Why is everything so slow down here?"
Oh, really?
And I like, to me, I'd seen both, like,
and she's from Colorado.
She's
right?
from Colorado, and I never really noticed, but like I was like, man, people kind of do talk a little slower down here. And not that they're like dumb or anything. It's just like everything.
I like how you had to put that.
Yeah. It was just like
we educated down here, bro.
You better watch your mouth down here, boy. Watch who you talking to. No, but yeah, like it's just like people will talk like this and just really slow, and sometimes you're just like, come on, man. Like, what are you trying to say?
Like, they speak English down there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they think they speak English. There's a lot of Cajun. Have you seen that movie, The Waterboy?
Oh, yeah, for
sure. You know The Farmer?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's a real thing. Like people actually will talk like that.
Like, you have somebody in your family that talks like that?
Not in my particular family, but, like, I've met people from other people's families. Like, oh, yeah, this is, like, my uncle, like, Fred or whatever, and he's just like, how you doing, boy? You know,
well, that's just Fred, man. That's just how Fred is. Dude.
Well, and that's the thing down there. I always thought that was like normal, like,
oh, sure,
you know, like Cajun dialect is what I like to call it. And yeah, and when I moved up here, I just was like, oh, that doesn't even exist. Like, like anywhere else. That's just.
Do you feel like you had an accent and you've lost it?
No, I feel like I never had one. I never caught on, which is funny because my parents have heavy accents.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and at our wedding, my family and my wife's family met for like the first time, and they were like, "Oh my God, like your mom has like a heavy Southern accent. Like, how did you not get it?" And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I guess I just.
This is what God blessed me with.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's funny too because like I was on one day it just clicked too. Like even before that, I was like, man, my mom. I was just on the phone with her, just talking. I was like, my mom has a Southern accent, but I never thought that before because it just was so normal.
Yeah,
to me,
yeah,
you know?
right.
And I was like, she's got a really thick like, all right, baby, I love you. Like just kind of like.
That's good. I like that.
I was like, yeah, she's Southern. She's a Southern woman at heart.
Louisiana.
Yeah, man.
I was gonna ask you, what's your favorite candy? And is there a candy or like a dessert? Maybe that's the question I want to ask. 2 questions. Part 1, what's like the dessert of your region? And then 2, what's your favorite candy?
I would say like a lot of people like beignets.
Okay, that's what I was trying to think how to pronounce it.
Yeah,
it's like the big thing from there. What is that?
Yeah.
What is a beignet?
It's kind of like just like a powdered. It's sort of like a funnel cake, except it's like a powdered donut kind of. I don't really know how to explain. It's just like a pastry with like powdered sugar. And they have pretty good ones at Cafe Du Monde in New Orleans. And they have really good coffee there. I mean, that's kind of like a staple of New Orleans. Like if you go to New Orleans, like you obviously have to go there. But yeah, they do it probably the best, the beignet thing. But my hometown wasn't really like big on beignets of Lake Charles. It's just like that's the first dessert that comes to mind when I think of like New Orleans, or Louisiana, like sugar, like sugary treat. Probably be like a beignet
For sure.
Yeah, and then you said favorite candy.
Yeah.
Like just like commercial candy or just any type of candy?
I guess anything, yeah.
Oh man, that's a tough one.
I'll be honest, I asked this question to a lot of people in like my like daily life, and I've never had the clarification. You mean like commercial candy? Like no one has ever clarified that question. It threw me off a little bit. I was like, what other kind of candy is there?
Like homemade candy?
Sure, I guess. Yeah.
Well, because they make like those taffy shops like at every beach ever.
And that's not commercial. That's
that's like
indie candy.
Yeah, it's like indie. I like that. Like more like just like underground candy.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I typically, I don't know, man. That's maybe I like Reese's, and lately they've been doing some crazy stuff, man. Have you seen the
what's going on with Reese's? I had no idea.
They've been doing crazy stuff. Like anytime I see a new Reese's, I'm like, I gotta try it. Like they do Reese's now with the Reese's Puff cereal. Yeah, they do like Reese's with Reese's Puff cereal inside the Reese's.
I have not heard about this.
Dude, you got to try it. It's crazy.
Okay, I'm interested.
It adds a nice crunch, and they're adding like potato chips inside the Reese's now.
That sounds tasty.
It's good. It's like salty and sweet.
Are they partner with Lay's?
I think it's just they make their own chip or something.
Reese's making their own chips?
I guess. It doesn't say like what chip it is.
But they don't like sell them independently from the Reese's. Like you have to get their chips inside
the candy.
They don't have like a can, like a stack.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool if they did. And then they put now they have these new ones. It's like creamy and what's the other one? It's like creamy and chunky Reese's.
That chunk, dude. Reese's out here just chunking it.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, chunk. Yeah. I think they just put like nuts in it, like peanuts.
Yeah,
kind of like chunky peanut butter. That's the word we were probably trying to think of earlier. Chunk, like what does that mean? Like chunky peanut butter, like thick.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, people basically describe the way they throw something as peanut butter.
Yeah. Get those peanut butter throwers.
Yeah.
No, dude. Have you ever had a sweet heat Starburst?
Did
you ever get on those
Starbursts?
It's like a black wrapper, and they'd have like spicy mango. They had like a fiery watermelon.
I think I actually do. They don't make those anymore.
No, they discontinued them,
okay.
bro.
I think I do remember that.
You can only find them on like the eBays for like way too much money.
So you've like done your research and looked into it.
Oh, I've like bought like a box before of like some expired sweet heats. They were rock hard, dude. You had to like suck on those
like
things
an
for
hour
like
later.
like an hour
Yeah,
later,
yeah.
dude. The Starburst, like they were the laters.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. And it was like but they were like so good. It's like by far my favorite candy of all time.
Interesting.
But they don't make them anymore. I don't know if they just like didn't pop off.
I think I may have tried one. I think someone bought a pack, and I think I vaguely remember trying one.
Sweet Heat Starburst, dude.
Yeah.
If anybody from the Starburst company is listening to this show, I hope that they are inspired to bring it back. That would be the comeback of the century, honestly, for me.
You know what you might like? Tabasco makes candy.
Really?
Yeah, and they have like jelly beans and chocolate, and it's like basically just spicy candy.
Okay. I gotta look into this. I've never heard about that.
Yeah,
dude, you got a lot of insider candy knowledge.
Yeah, I like candy, man.
Candyland.
Yeah, I like candy. My wife tries to not buy it, but every time we go to the grocery, I'll like sneak some into the basket.
Come on now.
And she's like, "Really?" And I'm like, but then she's always the first one to be like, "Hey, you want some of that candy?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, so you do want the candy?"
Yeah. What do you guys keep stocked in the cabinet? Like,
she gets bad candy, man. Like she's real like healthy. So she'll get like I don't like dark chocolate.
okay, yeah.
So she'll get like dark chocolate covered like cherries, you know, like
Oh, you mean bad candy as in like it's not good?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying like expired candy.
Oh,
it's like
no.
discounted. Like she
Yeah,
gets that discounted candy.
yeah.
It's like not good anymore.
Yeah, no.
Oh, it's like fresh. It's just like not what you like.
Yeah, not what I like, because she likes healthy stuff, and I'm like, "Do you really like this?" And he's like, "Apparently, dark chocolate's supposed to be like good for your heart or something."
That's what they be saying.
Yeah.
Now we'll see.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Remember
yeah.
when milk used to be good for you, dude?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I used to
Dude,
drink...
now it's like you're drinking dairy milk.
Yeah.
Dude, are you even human?
Yeah,
Are you an alien?
dude? Milk is weird, man. Yeah, we do almond milk. That's kind of our thing.
Yeah, we're big. I'm big on the
Mm,
almond milk. I
yeah.
made the switch. It's easier on the gut.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, I'm pro nut milk.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
I'm tired when I drink dairy milk. Like,
Yep, no way.
Yeah,
I've been eating pork recently. Been making me nap
pork. Yeah, I
Making
can't
nappy.
do pork. Yeah, I eat turkey.
for like religious reasons.
No,
pork?
no.
Oh.
I just we try to eat leaner meats. Just because like I get like meat sweats if I eat like a lot of beef and like pork.
Okay.
And, so I like to eat leaner meats like burger, like poultry and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And turkey. I like to eat turkey because I'm like those turkeys that used to chase me.
Hey,
Yeah.
a little payback action.
Yeah.
dude. Okay, so I Bad Candy. That's a great name, Bad Candy. I don't know. I wrote that down. It's got to be something Bad Candy.
Sounds like a good company or a band name or something.
Yeah, you dips. No, but so you've got a feel for this podcast.
Yeah.
Kind of like here's what we're kind of doing with it. So, as I kind of shared before the show, like I started it to kind of chronicle my journey of comedy, and I still kind of want to be doing that,
Sure. Yeah.
But I'm trying to come up with a better name than just trying to podcast
Okay.
because it takes so much explanation. Like just trying to I was trying to make it like funny, like just trying to podcast.
Yeah.
You see, I'm trying to. But
Yeah.
It takes a lot of explanation, and then like I'm gonna say, well, I'm just trying to be a comic, or like I'm just trying to live, laugh, and love.
Okay.
You see, I'm really into live, laugh, and love. It's kind of
Okay.
my motto of life.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
But it's like it's a lot. It's not like clear. So like if you know me, like you get it. Like, oh, Mike's doing his thing. But like from someone who like you stumble across the show, or you see like a reel, like if the algorithm works for me this week, and somebody like sees it, it doesn't make sense. Like the
Okay.
name, right?
So you're looking to into like a name change.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So I asked ChatGPT because that's what we're doing these days.
Sure. Yeah.
Have the AI do
Yeah.
my work for me.
Yeah.
So I've now got 13 names.
Okay.
And I would love to get your top 3. Okay?
All right.
So I'm going to just riff through them.
Sometimes these are pretty funny when you ask it to come up
Oh,
with like
they had some horrible names. I
Yeah.
had like a list of 100.
Yeah.
Like I asked, like, give me 30 names, and I did it like 3 times, so I got like almost 100 names from it.
Yeah.
And then I shifted, like I morphed some,
Yeah.
But these are slightly inspired by ChatGPT. This is the top 13 I have right now.
Okay.
Okay. Number 1, Oddcast.
Oh, okay. Like oddly funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oddcast.
Oddcast. Okay.
2, Chucklefest.
Okay.
3, Oddly Strange.
Okay.
3, Strangeland. 4, Oddie Potty. 5, Odyssey Oddcast. Wait, is that 6? 7, An Odd Odyssey. 8, Odd Fest. 9, I'm getting the counting's off. I'm going to stop saying the number. Can't read numbers. Off the Wall. Chronicles of Comedy.
Ooh. Yeah.
Oddly Pod. Odd Pod. Inside Jokes. So I'm going to go back through.
Okay.
Chucklefest, Oddly Strange, Strangeland, Oddie Potty, Odyssey, Oddcast, and Odd Odyssey, Oddcast, Oddfest, Off the Wall, Chronicles of Comedy, Oddly Pod, Odd Pod, Inside Jokes.
I think I like Oddie Potty.
Oh, really? Oddie Potty. That's
Yeah.
the first vote. What gets you about Oddie Potty?
It just sounds funny.
Okay, it's got a funny name to it.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like potty. Like
Yeah, I always say like potty.
yeah.
Like check out my potty, or like new potty coming out this week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that fits in perfect.
Right. Yeah.
No, I think it sounds funny. Plus, you do the oddly funny open mics.
Yeah.
It kind of like ties into that a little bit. I think I like that one. It's and yeah, it kind of just sounds a little funny. I definitely kind of giggled when you said that one.
Okay.
And then what's funny is my second one. I was even thinking like the word chronicle. Like kind of before you even listed them out, I was like, what about like something comedy chronicles? And then you had listed that one. I forget exactly what it was, but I was
Chronicles of Comedy.
Yeah, it sounds really cool.
Really?
Like I don't know. To me, it sounds like kind of like Chronicles of Narnia or something. It just sounds cool. But I don't know if you're going for like more silly or what kind of like vibe you want to put out there. For
Definitely
everybody.
like a goofy, lighthearted is what I'm going for.
Okay.
So the pushback I got against Chronicles of Comedy, it was that sounds at first glance, you read the title, it sounds like someone is doing like a history of comedy.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's more so like a history of my journey, or just like people I meet along the way, like yourself,
Sure.
sitting down, having a conversation.
Yeah.
But I like it. So, you liked Oddie Potty, Chronicles of Comedy.
I feel like a lot of them were just different variations of like odd podcasts.
Yeah, so we got like Oddly Strange, Oddie Potty, Odyssey, Oddcast, and Odd Odyssey, Oddcast, Oddfest.
Odyssey Oddcast is kind of funny as well. Like, I feel like that's like a name no one has.
Yeah.
Because it is like an odyssey. Like you're on a journey of comedy.
That's what it kind of sounded like, a little bit more present tense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that one's pretty cool. That one sounds cool too. And it kind of showcases like what you're trying to do a little bit. I think Oddie Potty is my favorite though.
Okay, that's the number 1.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Strangeland. That one it just sounds like a really bad amusement park.
Yeah. Okay, so what like I was trying to think of like other words like besides weird and odd. So strange came up.
Okay.
And then so have you heard of Nate Bargatze, the comedian?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so he's like he's probably like my favorite comedian of all time. He was like the first comedian I saw live.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's like the first comedy show I ever went to was Nate Bargatze at the KC Improv, which is a comedy club in like North Kansas City.
Okay.
And me and a friend went there, and this was before like he blew up. Like now I think he's got like 3 Netflix specials.
Oh, cool.
Or maybe 2 Netflix specials, 1 Amazon Prime, and like a Netflix half hour, and like a Comedy Central half hour.
So he's like a big deal.
Yeah, he's selling out like arenas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll definitely have to look him up.
He's doing big theaters and like arenas now.
Cool.
But when I saw him, dude, he didn't even sell out this small comedy club. Like there were.
So you're like an OG fan.
I wouldn't, because he's been doing it for 20 years.
Oh, okay.
And I got into him in like 2017.
Okay.
So I've been a fan of his for 6 years, but he was a national headliner.
Yeah.
but like definitely before he blew up,
Oh,
like
man.
and got really big.
I'm gonna have to check.
So
it
like
out.
we got to like he hung out like after the show, and we went to the merch line. We like talked to him for like a couple minutes and
that's
like
cool.
took like selfies, or took a picture with him or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
Like now that's like like you got to get a meet and greet ticket, like
Oh yeah.
just because like there's thousands of people at his shows, like you can't just do that anymore, right? That was so much context. Anyway, so he has a podcast called the Nateland Podcast.
Oh, okay.
So I was thinking like a nod to him. Like
Gotcha.
he was like he's like definitely my biggest inspiration, even though I feel like our styles are pretty different.
Sure. Yeah.
Like he's definitely like my favorite comedian and like inspires me a ton. So I was like, oh, it's kind of like a nod to him, like the Nateland, Strangeland.
I got it. Okay.
But it does sound like a weird amusement park.
You want to go to Strangeland?
Yeah.
In New Orleans, they used to have a theme park called Jazzland.
Of course they did.
Did you ever hear about that?
No.
Oh, it's
was it horrible?
No, it was actually like pretty cool. I went there when I was like 10 or something, but they shut it down and it's abandoned, I think. From what I read, I don't know how accurate this information is, but from what I remember reading, it's like an abandoned theme park right now.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if that was a while ago, so like someone could have like bought the property or something and did something different with it. But I saw a picture of it on the internet and it looks super scary. And I was like, oh my God, I went there when I was a kid and now it looks like you would for sure get murdered there.
Because there was that kind of like that comedy zombie movie a while ago, right? About like this, they were kind of like in this decrepit, it was like this post-apocalyptic like zombie film. It was like a comedy and they were like in an amusement park.
Oh, like Zombieland?
I think it was called Zombieland.
With Woody Harrelson?
Yeah. Zombieland.
Yeah, it's kind of what it looks like now. But like then again, it's been a while. That was like years ago when I read that, so I don't know like how accurate this information is.
Dude, what if did they film Zombieland at Jazzland?
It's very possible.
Zombieland film location. See if it's gonna pop anything up. No, it was filmed primarily in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah. Shoot.
I wouldn't be surprised if they filmed something somewhere when that theme park was abandoned, because the picture was terrifying. And like after it was abandoned, it was just like it was, I don't know, maybe it was like the way it was shot too, because it was like gray skies and cloudy and just graffiti and like the fence was falling apart and like the rides like were still there. Like I think the Ferris wheel was like missing some of the whatever they're called,
the chairs,
chairs you said. Yeah. And it just looked like it was a really eerie picture, and I was like, I can't believe I went there when I was a kid,
Dave?
Jazzland. Yeah, I remember there was one ride I went on when I was probably like 10, and I screamed so bad they had to stop the ride to take me off because I could feel it like buckling and stuff.
Oh.
And I don't like that kind of stuff when I get on rides and it feels like some of the screws are loose and stuff. Yeah. That's kind of what I was talking about like earlier, where there's like no rules. Like if they set up like a carnival or something, there's a lot of rides that kind of just a bunch of drunk guys put together.
Well, yeah, you feel like you would expect that from a carnival, but not from like a amusement park.
Yeah. I mean, that could like, that's the thing is like it could have been in my head because I was a kid, but I remember thinking like, this does not feel safe. Like that fear soaked in me. I was like, this ride doesn't feel like I had like a Final Destination moment. I was like, get me off of this ride.
Yeah,
and they stopped the ride and I got off, and then I left. So I don't know like what happened after, but
dude, you should write a film. What do they call it? Like a script or like what's the other word for that?
Like a screenplay?
Oh, a screenplay.
Yeah.
You should write a screenplay about Final Destiny, like Jazzland.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to. But I'm just saying, like,
that's a good idea.
That's an idea for you. You know, if you're looking to make a film, like there you go.
Like the next Final Destination.
Yeah. Or did they make the last?
I don't know. I don't really know. I saw like the first one, but they seemed. I remember like seeing one, and it was like the Final Destination. Like it was supposed to be the last one. Then like a year later, I remember seeing an ad for like another one.
Dude, so if they're rebooting it, man, why not Jazzland?
Yeah, totally. Jazzland, man. Yeah, they should bring that place back.
Dude, keep it jazzy.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you so much for coming here to be on the show.
Of course, man.
Anything that you want to like promote or push? People can find you online somewhere.
Yeah, I haven't really done the social media thing quite yet, but yeah, if you want to see some really bad comedy or my bad comedy, come to the Chuckle Bucket on Tuesdays.
There we go.
Yeah.
Come see him on Tuesdays
Yeah.
at the Chuckle Bucket.
Chuckle Bucket.
Get some of that bad candy.
Yeah, Bad Candy Productions.
Oh, dude, bad candy productions. I want 1%. If that ever becomes a thing, I want 1%. Yeah.
Okay.
Get that in writing, dude. Call up our lawyers. And very funny. I like your style, you know, and I like that you like you're asking a lot of people in the scene up here for advice. I think that's like a really good thing to do.
Yeah, thanks,
really good
man.
thing to do.
Yeah.
And so that's awesome that you're doing that. This drops on this Friday,
Okay.
which is like August 4th, and I will be hosting for Casey Shornima at Laughs Comedy Club. So if you're here in Seattle, you can still get tickets. Use discount code Summer of Laughs to get $5 off your ticket. Come see me and a very funny Casey Shornima. She is a writer for SNL. She performed. She's been performing all over the country, headlining, and she was at JFL New Faces, Just for Laughs New Faces. I think she was voted like the best up-and-coming comic in Nashville a couple of years ago. Like, she's very talented, so at least come for her and come for me. And support live comedy. And that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, right
so any final words?
I don't think so.
All right. I don't think so. Those are your final
Yeah.
words. I don't think so, dude.
Could you imagine? Any final words? Nope, don't think so.
Don't think so. All right. Thanks for joining this week of Just Trying to Podcast. And as always, my friends, stay funny and stay weird. Peace.
When there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been my way, or the highway, and in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need.
Great shot.